Yeah, what's up guys? My name is Keeter, and I just want to go over a quick little tip that, well I say little, it's actually a really big tip that I don't think that anybody knows about Overwatch, and honestly, not just Overwatch, any shooter in general. It's a sensitivity rule. So generally what you want to do is with the entirety of your mouse pad that you're comfortable using, from one end to the other should be a 180. Mine is more than that, I'll talk about that in a sec, but basically the quickest way you can get better at a game is to, instead of using your wrist to aim, you pick up your whole arm. One end of the mouse pad to the other is close to a 180. I'm here. If I'd go back the other way, looking at the target. Like I said, mine is a little more. The best way to set this up, so when we come to your mouse's software, mine is Logitech. I have this. This is my software. You might have this, you might have something else. I don't really know. That's besides the point. The most important thing is to have your pulling rate or your refresh rate, whatever your software calls it, at its maximum. A maxed pulling rate will decrease any kind of jittery. It makes your mouse more precise, better to detect anything on your mouse pad or whatever you use to move your mouse. That is just a universal good. Your DPI is your next important thing. This varies based on what you're playing. If you're watching this and saw the thumbnail, I'm assuming you're here because of Overwatch or you watch it because of Destiny. For fast-paced shooters, a higher DPI is more important. All the Overwatch pros, well, I'm not sure about like this year's Overwatch pros, but when Overwatch was just starting, all the pros like Seagull and XQC used a high DPI, like 1600, some of them 1200. 1200 is probably the most common, but I saw it go upwards of 1800. The higher DPI allows you for a more precise aim. I guess that's the best way to word that. The higher DPI, the less chance there is of aim variation in terms of like skipping, not frames, but like steps. Look at DPI as in steps. There is this many dots per inch. That's what DPI stands for. So in a game like Overwatch where you're moving your mouse crazy fast all the time, a higher DPI is better. If you're playing CSGO, then your DPI is not as important. Well, it's still very important, but a lower DPI would probably be better because you're not moving your mouse in crazy directions. You're just looking in one lane. So if you're like a Rainbow Six player or CSGO player, you're probably not going to want a high DPI, but it wouldn't affect you if you did have one. You could get used to it with a really low in-game sensitivity, which is what I did in Overwatch. And this goes hand in hand with your eDPI. eDPI is your regular DPI times your in-game sensitivity. So I have a calendar here. My DPI is obviously 1500. My in-game DPI, if I can switch screens here, my in-game DPI is 1.55%. If we come back here, 1500 times 1.55, my eDPI is 2325. If you look at the pros, the esport pros, the esport legends eDPIs, they're usually in this kind of a range. And obviously this range is all subjective. It's all comfort based. But the higher you can get your desktop DPI, the better over time you will become at aiming. And that's not just me saying that to try to trick you into being worse at the game or something like that. That's something I've been told and like flushed into my brain from all sorts of pros, mostly Overwatch pros. I will say that I've only really noticed this too much in Overwatch, mostly because the only other game I play is Destiny, and you can't fine-tune your DPI, you get certain settings. But basically, give it a shot. What I recommend starting with is setting a DPI and in-game sensitivity of 1, and making your DPI is high enough that one side of your mousepad to the other is a 180, and then fine tune it from there. So my mousepad to the other is, I don't know, 180, like a 220 degree angle. I don't know, it's just what I like to use the most. But yeah, figure it out for yourselves and you will be glad you did. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of this one. I kind of wanted to make a video because it's been a long time since. Yeah, Destiny kind of sucks and I've lost all motivation to play games. But I've played a lot of Overwatch 2, kind of controversial start. It is what it is. I'm working on a montage in Destiny again. It's been a while since I've done that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.